What's going on, guys? Darrell, and we are back on another Wednesday, guys, for another Whiskey Wednesday. And this time it's actually not going to be blind. So there's going to be no way for me to mess up on this. We're just going to taste through some whiskey. Actually, a sample that was sent for me from a brand that I've never had a single barrel from this specific bottle. So I've had some single barrels from the company, but not this brand. Well, bottle per se, in a sense. Not going to reveal it yet. Going to have you guys sit in suspense. If you're new to our channel, hit the like and subscribe. You're going to see what I'm going to try in a minute. Cheers. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. And what we're going to be diving into is taters beyond taters. It's a Weller single barrel, guys, but not a full proof. It's a 107. And I have never had a Weller 107 store pick. I've only had their standard offerings, just the regular shelfers that popped up. And honestly, I've probably only had maybe two or three different offerings. Like I said, no single barrel, so this will be the first one that I've ever had. Trying to really remember exactly what I got on the original ones, but we're kind of gonna just go into this as is, not blind. Obviously, I know what it is, but just give it a once over and see what I think of it. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Kelsey Dime, for the sample. Thanks, buddy. We're gonna pour this up and give it a go. Heard from multiple people that the 107 picks are a bit better than what the full proofs have been as of recently. So I have a full proof pick that I don't care for much at all. I know Jeffrey just put out a video on one that I sent him that he really, really loved. I don't have that specific single barrel. I sent him and a couple buddies that one. And I happened to take the short end of the stick and got one from a different store, and it wasn't as good. So let's see if this can kind of redeem the Weller single picks or single barrels for me. Cheers, everybody. Oh, God, immediately off the nose, this is better than the full proof one I got. This is like standard Buffalo Trace. You got that nice cherry, that berry note, a little bit of oak, nothing crazy. But yeah, just so berry forward. And you guys know me. Like, I love like that berry, that tart, like those notes on whiskey. A little bit of burnt char. Like burnt, like, yeah, charred barrel in a sense. Citrus, bright, berry, not really dark at all. Oh, that's nice. All right. I can keep nosing this, but we're going to go in for a sip. Okay. That was actually a little different than I thought the palate experience was going to go. So it's a little bit more richer and darker on the palate. And I don't really get too much of the cherry notes and berry notes that I was getting on the nose, which is kind of throwing me for a loop because it's so berry forward on the nose. You would think some of that would translate. Let me take another sip. ever so slightly, like the berries there. It's so crazy though, because it's so much. It's so prevalent on the nose, but I don't really get much of any of that on the palate. Just nice spice, good amount of oak. Uh Drinks hotter than 107 for me, which I don't mind, but drinks above its proof. I'm not sure the age. These aren't age stated, but I think they're rumored to be, I believe, maybe 6 to 8 years old for the 107s. And this tastes like it's in that realm in terms of age. But yeah, palate's like it's like a yin yang, man. You get all that conventional and traditional, you know, Buffalo Trace notes up front, the berries, the cherries, all that good stuff, but not on the palate, which is odd. But it's still tasty, and I think I would still prefer this over the foolproof pick I got. Like the foolproof pick is just wonky, man. Like it's odd. Um, I'm gonna pour if I can find where it's at. Uh, yeah. So we're gonna pour just a little bit of this into little Glen that Marty got me. And I just don't remember. As you can see, it's still pretty full. I just don't remember really caring for this. And I gave it a couple goes, hoping that it got better. And we'll see now. Yeah, see, this nose just, the nose is more darker. Like, I'm not getting the berryness that I get on the front of the 107 by any means. Like, this I wouldn't even know is a Buffalo Trace product. It's just more oaky vanilla forward than like the berry and cherry notes that you typically get. Let's take a sip. Yeah, it just, this single barrel doesn't do anything for me. I'm anxious. I know Jeff's going to send me a sample of the barrel that I sent him so I can kind of compare and contrast the two, but this is just not up my alley. And it's kind of like flip flop because Jeff has a single barrel of Weller Proof that he doesn't like whatsoever. And I absolutely love that one. And this one I do not like whatsoever, which is kind of crazy because I've never had a bad one. I've had some that were good and some that were all right, but this one I just don't really enjoy. It almost tastes young. You get a little burnt note. The nose is pretty nice, but it's just wildly different. Like I get a slight like citrus note, but outside of that, there's nothing that would remind me of Buffalo Trace on this. And the palate's just, eh, you know, literally. Yeah. In short, I would take this 107 single barrel 10 times over the Weller Foolproof I have here. I wish that there was a bit more single barrels in terms of like 107s that release within the states around me. I tend to see full proofs all the time. Like there's multiple barrels that come out um, for the year, and I never get to see like a 107. So, hopefully that changes, in the next year or so. See if I can maybe get my hands on a couple of the 107s because this one that I have right here is really, really good. And like I said, I would take that 10 times over the full proof I got. I'm going to take one more sip of this single barrel. Thank you, Kelsey, man. I'm not sure what store this is from, but this is tasty. Yeah, that's just more up my alley in terms of profile. That citrus is there, not too much berry like I mentioned, but it's still fruit forward. Got some nice flavor. That spice is just lingering. I'm not sure. I wish I knew what their mash bill was, but I think it has some type of high rye in it. There's so much spice on the front and mid of the palate that makes you think it's maybe like a 30% rye or something like that. I know it's a wheater, so it's at least what high wheat in terms, but that rye spice I think is probably maybe up there with how much wheat's in there, to be honest. But who knows? Buffalo Trace is mythical when it comes to mash bill, so I don't think we'll ever know. But that 107 pick is pretty tasty, and I can knock that off the bucket list, guys. First time having a 107 single barrel, and it was indeed tasty. Shout out to my guy Kelsey Dime. Appreciate you, brother. And until next time, guys. Cheers.
Jeff, just be friends with me.